Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum to all dear friends. Thanks for feedback. I have created a response in light of all the feedback which I have received during the past few days. And as we all know that here in Pakistan we have a written constitution which was promulgated here in 1973, and there was a consensus regarding it between all the political entities and leaders, and that constitution is still workable, is working, is there, uh, and as we always say, while uh, one of our professors used to say regarding British political system, that there is a big gap in theory and practice. So we do have clauses of fundamental rights intact in our constitution. But you see, there is no consensus among political leaders and political workers regarding implementation of these clauses or regarding extension of these clauses to rest of the people of Pakistan. Whosoever comes into power starts utilizing law enforcing powers and intelligence powers in a very negative way. And that's why one disqualified prime minister of Pakistan was termed as mafia chief by Supreme Court. And why this mafia-like situation exists? Because of lack of education, because of lack of will to implement constitution among political leadership. And that is why the constitution says one thing and practices are altogether different. Constitution forbids exploitation and over-exploitation. In Pakistan, you will see during past few decades, Pakistan is turned into almost forced labor camp. I mean, two people are working with meager salaries or no salaries at all, even in government departments. So situation is really bad. So bad that recently our honorable police chief of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Mohammed Naeem Khan, he came up with the statement that there will be no excesses on behalf of police and there will be no corruption and such practices will be not tolerated. So the one who was a spokesman of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa police, he had written uh, that press release that Naeem Khan, Inspector General Police of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, has taken revolutionary measures. Though he was talking in terms of constitution, we are all supposed to work in accordance with the law and constitution of the land, and each political or other institutions are having constitutional mandate at their back. So we have to be very dutiful, efficient, and we have to abide laws, bylaws of our departments as well. So, uh, refraining his colleagues from uh, excesses and corruption was termed as a revolutionary step, which is not revolutionary at all. His statement reflects a person who is dutiful and is well aware of constitutional and legal limits of his job. So it's all mafia everywhere. Constitution says one thing, and departments, government institutions are going into another direction. Constitution provides for respect for fundamental human rights and practices of many government departments and individuals working in those departments are quite contrary to that. So it's all a big mess, and it is outcome of prevailing ignorance. Only constitution to have constitution is not enough. We have to uh, make people aware of that. We have to make everybody aware of his or her constitutional limits and legal limits, so they can stay within their limits and can run the civil system efficiently. So Pakistan, like all other developing countries, in neighboring India, situation is the same. People of Kashmir, today is 128th day of curfew in Indian occupied Kashmir, and around 1 million troops, Indian troops, are there, and people are confined in their homes. People have no access to internet or mobile phones. All these services are being terminated in the valley. People of Kashmir, whether they are Pandits or Kashmiri Pandits or Muslims, they are all being discommunicated. And only God knows what Prime Minister of India wants to do there. That one thing is very obvious, that Indian Army is misused by Indian Premier in Kashmir. Indian occupied Kashmir is a disputed territory, and UN resolution provides for plebiscite there, which is never being taken seriously by Indian government, and they still insist that by utilization of armed forces, they can keep Indian occupied Kashmir as their integral part. So this is all savagery, you see. Fundamental rights of the people of Kashmir, which are guaranteed by Universal Declaration of Human Rights and UN Charter, are abridged. They have no rights. They are confined in their homes. And from the last 128 days, uh, probably that humanitarian crisis exists there. And nobody knows anything because uh, diplomats, media, no one is allowed to enter there in Kashmir, in Indian occupied Kashmir. So I think needed to educate people of India and Pakistan regarding fundamental human rights and regarding their constitutions, and some leadership training to infuse a spirit of federalism both in leadership of India and Pakistan, because federalism is something for safety of people against tyranny and oppression. And the federal government of India is directly involved in disputed area of Kashmir, in occupied Kashmir. They are doing all this. That India is a member of United Nations, and only peace-loving countries can uh, continue as member of United Nations. Indian actions in Indian occupied Kashmir are provoking uh, Muslims all around the globe, and these actions, Indian actions, are tantamount to declaration of war against Muslims. And in neighborhood of India, we Pakistanis, we are a nuclear power, and it is difficult for our leadership to pacify uh, provoked Muslims inside Pakistan and elsewhere in the world. India is also a nuclear power, and we know that uh, if we take any step to save the lives of innocent Kashmiris living in Indian occupied Kashmir through our military, that might ignite a nuclear war between India and Pakistan. So it's a very difficult situation, and I think international community can is doing enough rather, and Indian excesses are being registered there in U.S. Congress as well. Human Rights Commission of United Nations have condemned India for its actions in Indian occupied Kashmir and have asked for the end of curfew there. Uh, Only one can hope that situation will improve here in Indian occupied Kashmir. But 128 days is a long period of time, see, in which people are kept under curfew there in Indian occupied Kashmir. And I think now international community must act speedily to compel Indian government to end their excesses inside Indian occupied Kashmir. I wish all the best to all of you, and good luck as well.